I hate to say it, but it's not been a great couple of months for cozy games, has it? Hello, cozy gamers. I'm Ellie, and welcome back to the Cozy Gaming Club, where today we're going to be talking about all of the cozy games I played recently, and some of these takes get a little spicy. Now, I hate saying bad things about indie games because I know the developers put a lot of time and effort into creating these passion projects. But I wouldn't be doing my responsibility as a creator if I didn't cover both the games I loved and the games I didn't like. Starting with a game I feel like everyone is obsessed with right now, and I'm just not. Okay, I don't hate Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and I do think it's really cute, but I think it's pretty ridiculous that it's charging $40 to $60 for what's essentially a mobile port. Especially when it's still got all of those mobile mechanics requiring you to log in daily to complete daily quests, and there are always events to take part in and they're time limited. So if you miss a few days, you end up falling behind, missing out on items, and you won't be able to get the achievements. Plus, not to mention all the bugs. My pumpkins haven't respawned in 4 days. Someone please send help. Don't get me wrong, there are things that I like about this game. I think the characters are fun, and I'm slowly getting to know them, and I love that they each have their own perks that you get from inviting them to hang out with you. I like that you can climb and swim and dive, and that you can unlock fast travel to get around this huge archipelago, and there are lots of different biomes and areas to explore. I love trying to find all the little eggs and taking photos of them, and it also works amazing on my Steam Deck, although it does burn through the battery very quickly. Also, it's great not having to worry about juggling money and resources, because you use your resources to buy everything, although that does come with its own drawbacks as well. But for all of the positives, there are also a lot of negatives. There are a ton of quests, which normally I love, but so many of them are locked behind friendship levels, which ties into that logging in every day aspect. It's a grind. To become friends with the different characters, you need to gift them something every day, but you can only gift 3 items a day, so going up a level is a slow process once you get past the first few. And even though you haven't unlocked these quests yet by reaching the required level, they all just sit in your quest log taking up room. The camera is definitely one of the worst bits. I'm not sure if it's just me, but mine swings around here, there, and pretty much everywhere while I'm running around, which can be a little off-putting. It's also very fetch quest heavy, so if you don't enjoy that kind of game, then you probably won't enjoy this one. And if you want to pour hours into the game at once, I find there's only around like an hour or so of content every day, especially once you can zip around with the teleports and zipline. You should also know that it's time locked like Animal Crossing, so you need to wait each day for new content. But they've put punishments in place that will brick your save if you try to time travel, like preventing you from playing in multiplayer and not spawning new items and resources. Also, if you're looking forward to decorating your island, there's no terraforming, and you can't place items outside like in Animal Crossing. All of the decorating is done inside of these houses that you can unlock for the NPCs, and it honestly takes a lot of grinding to craft just some of the furniture. So I can't see myself getting too invested in this part of the game. But it's also a requirement for welcoming new villagers to town, so I guess we will see. To sum it up, this feels like a mobile game that's been put on PC without any of the mobile elements removed, and the gameplay essentially boils down to fetch quests and daily material gathering. Having said that, I did play for nearly 15 hours, and I do think it can be fun if you can overlook the downfalls, but I found the pressure of needing to log in every day or that I'd fall behind just wasn't good for me, and I much prefer being able to play games as and when I want for however long I want. I did receive this game for free, so that's likely clouding my judgment slightly, so I wanted to be as open and honest as I could be in this review, as it's a very expensive game. This next game also probably would have been a negative for me at launch, but the developer has been super responsive and has already patched a ton of my issues. But there are still a few quirks. This is Cinnabunny, and I fell in love with the concept the moment I saw it, and it finally launched on Steam in February. The dev kindly gifted me a key, so I was able to dive in early, and I want to start by saying this game definitely isn't for everybody. The start is very slow, and it takes a while for you to get set up in the little town of Sugar Creek Borough, and to be honest, it doesn't really pick up the pace after that either. After a drought destroys your home, you move away to set up a bakery and raise money so your family can join you. Every day is usually spent baking various breads and exploring the fields, woods, and mines around your home, as well as befriending the other villagers. Plus, there's loads of other activities to fill your day, like bird watching, windsurfing, mushroom foraging, and searching for recyclabots. As you make friends, you'll unlock new machinery that lets you make new types of bread, and over time you'll gradually earn enough money and expand your bakery. If you're looking for a relaxing game with no stress, then this is definitely it. All you need to worry about is getting home before your bread burns, and it's very generous with the timing. As I said, the dev has been very active and fixed a lot of the issues I had at launch, like adding a sprint function and letting you sniff out the other rabbits, as searching the map for them without that can be really time consuming. But it still has its quirks that aren't as enjoyable, like needing to manually input the different likes and dislikes for the bunnies, which I was terrible at because I immediately forgot what I'd gifted just after doing it. Personally, while I like this game for a few hours, I need a little more of a story to keep me hooked, although I potentially would have enjoyed it more in co-op. This next game is gorgeous, and I don't think it got as much love as it deserved because it dropped during the wholesome snack. But I do have a video of my gameplay if you want to check it out above. This game is NAIAD, a beautiful game where you play as a water nymph floating slowly down a mysterious river. Your goal is to help the river creatures you meet by reuniting ducklings with their parents and helping frogs find their lily pads. It's blissfully simple and very relaxing, but it's still a puzzle game, and some elements of the game are a little obtuse, like hidden passageways. Along the way, you'll find bright sunbeams that you can enter to age up and unlock new abilities, and finally you'll reach our part of the game. The humans also play a role, disrupting this wonderland by cutting down trees and mining in the caves. As the carer of the river, it falls to you to stop them and protect your river folk using all of the skills the game has given you. Unlike most puzzle games, NAIAD isn't overly complex, and the chances are you won't be sitting there scratching your head for hours and hours trying to solve a tricky puzzle. Most things are very straightforward, especially as there are only really 3 things that you can do in this game. But that's not a bad thing, as it lets you go with the flow of the river and truly enjoy this whimsical experience. The thing that lets NAIAD down for me are the achievements and lack of direction when it comes to collecting them. But if you don't care about those, you'll find a peaceful exploration game made by a solo developer that took me around 3 to 4 hours to complete. On the other hand, I would definitely hold off buying this next game. That's because despite it being a full release and not early access, this game is not finished. It does have a lot of potential though, and I've got a gameplay video if you want to see what it's like. This game is called Dreaming Isles, and I love that it's trying to do something different in the farming sim genre. Instead of being landlocked, you can build a boat and travel from island to island across a vast ocean, encountering different communities and taking part in a dispute between 2 different factions. Do you want to be a pirate or a member of the Global Trade Authority? Sailing was way more complicated than I expected it to be, in a good way, with you needing to take into account wind direction and also fix up your ship when it gets damaged. Also, you can actually walk around on the deck, which is really cool. It's also revolutionized some aspects of farming by completely removing the need to water your crops and letting you grow your crops using fertilizer you craft from monster parts. Although this can be a little difficult to aim. Plus, there's no day-night cycle to worry about, and you don't need to sleep unless you want to regain your health. But this game should be early access because it isn't finished, and this isn't mentioned anywhere on the Steam page. Instead, it's hidden in the Steam discussions, with the final update and the end of the story not expected until Q1 2026. I don't mind developers adding more content to a game after it launches, but in my opinion, the main storyline should be finished if you're launching into a full release. It also definitely needs a few more tutorials to give you some direction in the game. It took me way too long to figure out how to join the pirates, and how to initiate battle with the other ships, and I wasn't alone in this confusion. The combat is also very simple, where you simply need to swipe most of the enemies and then run in the opposite direction to avoid getting hit, and repeat again until you have all the resources you need for whatever you went into the mines to begin with. I did like that you can level up by doing things more often though, and unlock cool abilities like this holy light thing your sword does. As I said before, this game has potential, and it's doing something different. But it should have been an early access release with how bare bones it is, and I wouldn't recommend picking it up until the 1.0 in 2026. I swear a new idle game is launching every single week, and this is my current obsession. Tiny Pasture is an adorable creature collector farming game where you raise cute critters on the bottom of your screen. While you work, they'll run around and earn you money, and over time there are new creatures that you can unlock like red pandas, deers, zombies, and more. It's a super chill idle game, and it's fun watching them while you work. Plus, there's a little bit of a collectible element to the game as well, as you can unlock different rarities of creatures, with the 4 or 5-star creatures earning more money than the others. My only downside for this game is that your animals get sick if you leave them alone for a few hours without feeding them, which can be easy to do if you're stuck in a long meeting or you just forget to close the game down at the end of the day. And it costs 1,000 gold to heal just one of them. But on a whole, as far as idle productivities go, I've been really loving this one and would definitely recommend it. This next game is like Paparazzi, but with cats. As always, here's my gameplay video, and let's get into the review. In Neko Odyssey, you decide to set up a social media account taking photos of cute cats that you find around the island. Finding the cats in silly situations is definitely the highlight of the game, whether they're in a box or climbing a fence. And I especially love that you could capture photos of a cat over time while they do something. One day I found a cat that was looking through a hole in a wall, and then when I went back later, they were trying to squeeze through it. There are just a lot of fun situations like that, and there are even unexpected mini-games that you can complete to unlock special cats. It's also super satisfying just watching your followers and likes tick up as you take photos of more and more cats. Plus, there's more to this game than just the cats. There's actually a mysterious story to uncover as you play through that was more heartwarming than I was expecting. On the other hand, though, there are a few cons for this game too. Because of the layout of this game, it can be difficult to see which way you can go when walking around outside. It actually took me 3 days to find a second street I could go down, but the devs have now added a map which might make this a little more obvious. I also don't know if this has been fixed in the recent update, but there were some characters and cats that were invisible, preventing you from getting a photo of them unless you know where they were. None of these blocked the main plot for me, so it's just a minor issue though. It's also a very simple game, so keep that in mind before playing. You are essentially just taking photos of cats for 7 hours with a bit of plot to move things along. I didn't mind that though, but with a £17 price tag, this may be a turn off for some people. This next game released at the perfect time of year because I am missing summer so much, and this feels like the perfect summer vacation. If you haven't guessed, this is of course On Your Tail, and you know I love detective games, so I really enjoyed this one. Although I did have a ton of issues with it at launch. In On Your Tail, you play as Diana, an amateur writer who's left home in search of inspiration for her novel. But she gets more than she bargains for after ending up in a small seaside town plagued by a phantom thief. Because you've got nothing better to do, you decide to investigate, and so begins your summer of mystery and intrigue. Whenever a crime takes place, you can search for clues using your chrono lens, a handy device that reverses time so you can see things how they were before a crime took place. Then using an innovative card-based minigame, you attempt to reenact the crime scene by placing the actions in the correct order. This was both one of my favourite and least favourite parts of the game, although I think they have made some changes since I played. Essentially, as you get later in the story, this minigame really ramps up, and you may have as many as 15 steps to put in order. But you only get a handful of jokers or hints to help you solve the puzzle. I was stuck on some of these puzzles for nearly 2 hours trying to work out what the heck was going on, and it was infuriating. I think they've now added more jokers to make it a little bit more forgiving though. Alongside the main plot and mystery to solve, there's also a ton of other activities you can do, like fishing, cooking, working in a restaurant, delivering mail, and trying to make friends with the residents of Borgo Marina. Despite the bugs I experienced at launch, I did really enjoy this game. When it first released, it was £30 for On Your Tail, which was definitely on the expensive side. It's now come down in price to £25, which is a little bit more affordable, but I'll leave it up to you to decide if it's the game for you. It's also coming to Nintendo Switch on March 13th if you're playing your games there. When Astrobot won Game of the Year at the Game Awards, I decided it was finally time to cave and play it, and wow, I cannot believe I waited so long. It really reminds me of the Crash Bandicoot and Spyro games I played when I was younger, and it's been a while since I played a game that hooked me this much. Essentially, you play as this adorable little robot whose ship gets attacked, and you need to try to find all the pieces to put it back together, as well as saving all the other robots who got lost in the crash. You travel to multiple galaxies and visit a wide range of worlds, each completely different to the one before it. And it's honestly so much fun. There are different gadgets you can unlock to complete some levels, and all of the robots you rescue are based on characters from other PlayStation titles. So if you're an avid PlayStation player, there's a lot of nostalgia and fun packed into this game. This was the most fun I've had with a game in a long time, and I did just spend my entire Christmas break playing this one from start to finish. And honestly, it deserves all of those Game of the Year awards. But it helps that I was able to get it for around £20 to £30 rather than the full £60 price tag. I would definitely recommend checking this one out if you've enjoyed any of the other titles I've mentioned, and there's a free-to-play version called Astro's Playroom that you can try first to give you a taste of what to expect from the full game. Our final title is a sequel, although you don't have to have played the first game because this is House Flipper 2. The first time I played House Flipper was probably 2 years ago now, and House Flipper 2 is just more of what I loved about that first game, but with a few extra bits added in. I love home renovation videos and watch a ton on TikTok and Instagram, and just seeing where they start and end up is so inspiring. Sadly, I have no DIY skills of my own, so House Flipper lets me live out my DIY dreams by easily renovating houses from the comfort of my couch. From painting walls to laying tiles and even removing walls with ease, there's a little bit of everything in this game, and you can even build furniture if that's something you're interested in too. With such a huge range of paints, wallpapers and furniture items, no two houses are the same, and this is one of the games I love playing when the world has become too much. I can just put on a podcast or some of my favourite music and get to work. House Flipper 2 also adds multiplayer, although I've not been able to test that out for myself. But I definitely recommend this one if you just love building and decorating in games. I hope this video helped you to decide if any of these games were for you. Please let me know if it was helpful, and let me know what you're playing at the moment. Have you played anything that I haven't and that you'd recommend? Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next video. Bye!